Where am I? Why am I in my shed? Never mind that. I'm starving. I want pizza. What the? I'm tied up? Am I in a horror movie? Wait, does that mean?
Yes, Mr. gojxrd, you are incorrect. This is a YouTube video. A YouTube video that I took over.
Who are you?
I am the Phantom of Terrible Horror Films.
Phantom of Terrible Horror Films? What type of trash ass name is that? Gang, who gave you that name? A preschool teacher?
Silence. Utter another word and you will face consequences.
Look man, what do you want with me? I don't want any issues.
I've been trying to find someone to finally go over this particular movie, and you are just the victim I need.
Bro, I didn't want to do this for Halloween. What's the film you want me to check out?
Glad you asked. It's the lowest rated horror film on IMDb.
No, you're not saying...
Yes, you gotta watch Axum.
But watching that's like a suicide mission. I heard people who attempted to watch it died of brain deadness within the first 30 minutes.
If anyone can survive long enough to watch it, it's you. After all, you did survive watching Batman vs Superman.
True.
So get to work.
I'm kinda tied up here. Can you let me out so I can get started?
Oh yeah.
My bad, bro.
Hey, what's good? As y'all just saw, I better check out this film or I'm gonna get murked by this Phantom dude. Unfortunately, I value my life, so I actually sat down and watched this shitty horror movie. Not once, but multiple times. But more on that later. Axum, a 1992 horror flick that was created by a bunch of college students in Baltimore. It was originally titled The Weekend It Lives, and it was more of a comic horror. Until it got picked up by York Entertainment, who drastically cut the film, leaving key elements out. Eventually, they re-released it on DVD and VHS for it to be widely available and sold it with the new title, Axum. The film is now listed on YouTube for anyone to watch it, and this is how I watched it. Also, a lot of the information that I just gave you guys came from the description of the re-upload. So massive shout out to this guy who not only re-uploaded this film, but also gave context behind it. Now I don't get why these companies feel the need to cut into the director's vision. They're making the movie, not you. All I'm saying is, if you're gonna change something about the film, make it minuscule, not the entire film. Also, who's the genius that decided to buy a low budget parody horror off some college students? Because clearly, that guy deserves a raise. Seriously, they could have just used that money to make their own film instead of just buying this film and making it worse than it actually is. Regardless, before we dive into the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content like this. While you're at it, be sure to check out all my socials linked down below. With all that out the way, let's finally dive into Axum. The film opens up with a Star Wars level backstory, to which I'll read with you guys right now, so strap in. On a cold winter night in 1990, Mr. Mason, a mean and cruel townsman, left his job for home. After arriving home, he took a shotgun and killed his wife and kids. Then his mean man killed himself. When the police arrived, they only found the bodies of his wife, daughter, and younger son. His mentally ill son, Harry, was not ever found. Legend has it he will return in 13 years to revenge his family deaths. Don't you mean avenge his family's death? Bro, did these dudes fail English class or something? Also, where is Mr. Mason's body? Did the cops just choose to ignore it or something? I just find it funny how they could have easily fixed these sentences, but they just chose not to. It's like the editor had somewhere important to go and just said, fuck it, no one's gonna notice. Another thing, this is like every other horror movie imaginable. It's just a trope that I just personally find so strange. Like, why do these maniac killers decide to wait several years to get their revenge on people that have nothing to do with it? I get it, they're not right in the head, but you would think that they would go for family members that were living during the time of the attack. It's like these family members put their unborn relatives before them just so they can live. Hey Kev, I heard what happened. Are you alright?
I want my revenge now.
Yeah, I know. It sucks. I didn't know Uncle Tom was capable of that.
I got to get my revenge.
I just wish we knew the signs, Kev. Look, man, I'll always be here for you.
Murder, cousin. Revenge will happen.
Whoa! Kev! Chill there, buddy! Look, Between you and me, I heard Aunt Sally's having her kid soon. If you want your revenge so badly, just take her, man.
I will get my revenge in 10 years. Aunt Sally's kid will be my revenge.
Phew. Glad he doesn't know about my future kids.
You what? My revenge?
No! Anyways, let's actually get to the film. Yes, the movie looks that trash. But more importantly, what are they even saying? So yeah, the entire film is edited like this. For some reason, they had the genius idea of making the background audio as loud as the actual dialogue in the movie. In fact, I had subtitles on while watching this, and most of the time they weren't even appearing on screen. To be honest, I don't even think they used proper microphones to catch dialogue for this film. Even the music at times is as loud as the dialogue. I think the director who thought of this choice needs a raise, because their mind must be on an elevated plane, bro. Imagine if the final battle in Endgame solely had the music louder than the actual fight. No one would have remembered any key phrases from that entire scene. Jokes aside, now do you get why I had to watch this film multiple times? It clearly made it difficult for me to actually understand the story, but I think I have it down by now. So bear with me as we go on. Now, we see our core crew partying. This dude, who I think is named Michael, invites them over to his grandfather's cabin. The crew is all down and they leave the party. This is then followed by our first look at the main villain. Why does he have such a small axe? Bro, if that's small, I wonder what else is. They dead gave the biggest dude they could find, an axe, the size of a minion. They really couldn't find a bigger axe? So the fat Jason Voorhees walks into this house. This is followed by a shot that lasts like 20 seconds than need be. After, this old dude starts rambling about something. I couldn't even tell you what because the music was blasting in my ears. I can only assume he's angry about people outside his house because he goes off to grab his gun. But oh no! The fat Jason Voorhees is gonna get him! Watch out! What even happened? This is definitely a movie. Bro didn't even attack him. He just shoved him into the closet. Following that, we get probably the best title screen I've ever seen. This is accompanied by the hardest dance sequence since Shake It Up.
Everybody get out on the floor. It can get a little crazy when the kick hits the floor.
After, Baldy links up with Braids about the party. Their whole conversation is just reassurance that they're set for the trip that weekend. Afterwards, we're introduced to Rock, and he's the most infuriating and funniest character in this film. Let me tell you, this dude only has one character trait, and that's him being a hornball. All he does throughout this film is talk to and cheat on women. In fact, the first scene we see him in, he tells his girlfriend that he's going to a cabin this weekend with his friends, but he doesn't mention the girl he's trying to hook up with. Clearly, he's not the best of people. With that being said, you might be wondering why I called him funny. Well, as weird as this guy is, he does stuff like this.
What? It's too mad. It's too God. It's too bad. Oh.
Bro acting like how I was when I heard Adebayo's girlfriend wanted to move back to Gotham.
Every single aspect of our relationship, every single plan that we had overnight. We were supposed to be going back to Gotham, Lee. We were supposed to be going back to Gotham, Lee.
What? It's too mad. It's too God.
Anyways, the crew then link up and start heading out towards the cabin. They eventually arrive to the cabin, and then we get introduced to this film's equivalent to the wet bandits from Home Alone. However, with these two, this is the only time you'll see them throughout the whole movie. You don't get their names, you never get why they're there. All you get is that they're drunk and they don't know where they are. It's like they found two drunken dudes off the street because their script wasn't long enough to be a feature film length. Hey, editing gojxrd here, and I think I figured out what this scene was actually supposed to mean. These two were supposed to be survivors from the killer, you know, to hype up the slasher. However, they don't show that, which led me to believe this was just a random scene. I don't know why they couldn't show the killer attacking them to make it more clear, but I digress. Anyways, I'm gonna let old me continue the video. On top of all this, we get to hear the best line I've ever heard within any movie ever.
Cut.
Did the director just say cut? Who edited this film, bro? Was it that hard for you to re-record the scene or just cut down the clip a little? From here, the crew is chilling inside the cabin. Michael and Timu Chris Rock both do this funny handshake. If only I had a cool handshake like them, man. I would be so cool. After, this film does something that I like to call dead ends. A dead end is when a film does something interesting, but it just goes nowhere. This dead end has Nikki, who has relations with Rock, tell Michael's girlfriend that she has suspicions of him cheating, resulting in them breaking up in the following scene. So you would think that Rock would have a realization that he's a horrible person by treating these girls poorly. Nope. Instead, he calls Nikki's friend who is just with them and sleeps with her. Not once, but twice. What the fuck, dude? You can't chill out for just 1 second? Spend time with your friends, man. Put this guy on a UDY loyalty test and he's failing in an instant. At this point, he could become a convicted felon and he'd still be acting like this. From here, we get the notorious dead end of this film, which are the dinner scenes. These dinner scenes are straight yapathons as nothing in them progress the story. The first dinner scene goes on for 5 minutes, and the only thing that's important is that the crew wants to go to the woods. Who yaps this long at the dinner table? I get it, I yap too, don't get me wrong, but I would hate to be around these type of people while I'm eating food. Cause sometimes I just want to be going home. Like imagine this was a group of people you were with during Thanksgiving. I'm trying to go home, but Nikki is still there listening to him yap. For real, man. I'm not trying to leave my roommate behind, and I've been waiting hours for Jaden. Wait, you hear that?
This is the joke of Johnny Green. Johnny Green is a little kid in school.
Oh, come on! Let's cut back to the film. Once the useless exposition ends, the crew goes to a campsite in the woods. This is where I think Michael is telling the story we read in the beginning. I wouldn't know for sure because the only audio they put during this scene was some 90s rap song. Then we get the most irritating thing this film has to offer, as the backstory we read in the beginning becomes a flashback during this point of the movie. So what was the point of developing a Star Wars level intro if they were gonna show us it anyways? That's like if George Lucas made episode 4 the entire backstory paragraph that you read in the beginning. What makes this worse is that they knew they had a sequence of events that could easily tell the backstory, yet they chose to start the film off with an improper and ungrammatical paragraph. The people behind this movie truly deserve an Oscar. From here, there's a lot of useless exposition, which is then followed by this.
Let's just go find somebody's house so we can make a phone call, okay? Sarah, you stay here. We will be right back. Breakfast, you come with me.
I'm sorry. His name is Breakfast? Was his parents hungry while naming him? Look, I'm all for naming your kid whatever you want. I don't care. But for a name like that, you gotta want him to get bullied at school or something. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, we're shown these three, who I like to call the food pyramid, who consists of breakfast, dessert, and lunch. Lunch and dessert are not their actual names. I just didn't care to remember them. Basically, the food pyramid's car broke down, which causes breakfast and dessert to go look for a house so they can borrow someone's phone in order to call 911. This takes them to this random mansion. They eventually enter the house and get devoured by all the smoke. It's just hilarious how they were in broad daylight a second ago, and in this house, it's like Casper the Ghost farted everywhere. Whilst in this house, Breakfast freaks out and runs out the house because, ew, Casper farts? Guess he was afraid of becoming Casper's breakfast. But oh no, he deserted dessert! See what I did there?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
So Dessert spends 2 whole minutes searching this house for a phone. I'm not kidding when I say that either. This scene literally lasts 2 full minutes. Unfortunately, while Dessert is finding a phone, this happens. This ain't real, bro. I'm not even gonna try to explain how he got knocked out here. Breakfast eventually makes his way back to the car. This is when he tells Lunch that something feels off, so he's heading back home. Lunch then basically says, "You can leave. I'm here waiting for my dessert. And honestly, W breakfast. Dude is probably the smartest person I've ever witnessed in any horror movie. Breakfast, you should open up a school. Tell everyone your ways. You would save a lot of lives. Trust me. After, we cut back to the crew. This dude then has to pee and we see this. Ew, did this dude even wash his hands? Gross! I know a killer's outside your house, but maintain hygiene, dude. The man then tells the crew what he saw. No one really believes him, which is just dumb, because I don't know why someone would lie like that. If someone told me that, I'm pulling up outside my house like I'm Rambo. After that transpires, Rock goes outside to do the
Naughty, naughty.
which only confuses me because they just heard that a random dude is outside their house. But hey, for Rock, that's more important than his life apparently. Following this is yet another dinner scene. But this time, the crew notices that Rock is missing? No! So they start heading out to go look for him. As they are about to leave, Rock barges in the house with a bloody forearm. Does anyone know what he just said? I'm gonna play it for you guys one more time. If you guys do know, please let me know down in the comment section below. Dessert's body then falls into the door somehow, and the crew gets freaked out by this. They then run outside the house, but notice the slasher ruining a car engine, which causes them to run back inside. As they run back inside, we witness the greatest piece of cinema ever. They eventually calm down and decide for someone to go outside to see if their other car works. This is where Michael's bravery comes in, as he decides to go outside. He begins jumping around like a Smash character and eventually reaches the car. But oh no, the car doesn't work either? Who would have saw that coming? So once Michael puts the hood down, we get a terrible jump scare. Michael then turns into Neo from the Matrix as he dodges the attack. Everybody then runs back inside as we get a close-up of our slasher. Is he holding a machete? Isn't this movie called Axum? They couldn't even get that right. The killer then barges in the house and they somehow manage to get back outside. I couldn't tell you how because they don't show it. They then do the typical, we gotta split up, even though that's the worst idea in every horror film. Seriously, has no one heard of strength in numbers in this film genre? Anyways, these two partner up while Michael stays with this dude and girl. From here, we get the best cinematic death I have ever witnessed. Yeah, this is the movie of all time, bro. This lady then gets bodied even though she could have easily ran out the house. By this point, you may be wondering how the slasher is moving around so fast. This is where I have a theory that he's similar to Michael Myers, as this dude is seemingly indestructible and can teleport anywhere he wants. Now, this isn't confirmed, it's just a theory. A film theory! We then cut to lunch falling like 5 times. Let's return to the film. Trust me, we're almost done. The other two that split from the rest then find a car. They don't try to start it or anything, nor find others to jumpstart it. They kind of just sit there because of plot. Instead, what happens is the girl slaps him and he starts complaining about it. I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure there's more important things to be worried about than getting slapped in the face. Like, imagine you're hiding from a murderer and your friend complains about you saying that he stinks. Anyways, we then see multiple people running away to the woods. Michael eventually gets to his house to grab a gun, to which I don't know why he couldn't do that to begin with, but I digress. Rock then finds an abandoned house and hides underneath a bedsheet, which actually works for some reason. Yeah, I don't even know anymore. Then these two find an abandoned apartment. But oh no, the slasher is there! How did he? Cuss plot. The dude then runs away, leaving the girl vulnerable. I don't even know what happens here. Eventually, he kills the dude also. And we cut back to Nikki getting pressed by the killer. Rock comes and saves her, and the two just stand there for some reason. In fact, Nikki goes over to kick him. I don't get why they don't just leave. If I were them, I'd run out of there faster than the Flash. After, Michael and his girl gets chased down by the slasher. They escape, and Michael shoots the killer, but he tanks it. Everyone then meets up with the two who stayed by the car. They all try to leave, but somehow the slasher shows up. So once again, the crew is running around in the woods. I can only imagine how many times someone got lost while filming this movie. One quick thing I want to point out is this scene as they're running away. Michael literally swings around a tree like he's Spider-Man and hits Rock. I don't even know why he did that. It was so pointless, but I'm so glad he did. Anywho, we finally reached the big moment this trash movie has been building up to, as the core crew found an abandoned building to stay at. Nonetheless, the killer shows up wanting to attack them. They shoot at him and stab him with a rake. Before they leave, Michael shoots him some more, making sure he's dead. After, they all leave. So that was it. The slasher actually got shut down. The survivors actually took down the How? He literally got stabbed and shot multiple times. How is this dude alive? You know what? I'm not even gonna question it anymore. We then see a car driving away while the killer walks away, thus closing out the film. Yeah, that's how the movie ends. We don't know what happens to the crew. We don't know if the slasher will return, and we don't get a satisfying conclusion. Instead, what we do know is that this film is dedicated to the director's grandmother, to which I might add did not pass in 1993. The reason why I know that is because the film was released in 1992, which means I'm either being lied to or he got the years wrong. Also, RIP to his grandma, but what a film to be dedicated to. So yeah, that was Axum. Without a doubt, this is one of the worst films to ever lay my eyes upon. From its terrible camera quality, to barely hearing what the characters have to say, alongside its horrible script, watching this truly felt like a fever dream. Nonetheless, this is also one of the best movies I have ever seen. Stumbling upon this flick feels like a gift from heaven. So we thank you, Michael Mifune, for an experience like no other. I'm sure it was for the cast as well, since we'll never know what happens to them, as it's been over 33 years since the release and quote-unquote fans have been waiting for a sequel that will never happen. Overall, this film is a 4 out of 10, but in my heart, it's a 9 out of 10. We're putting this on the delightful trash tier, as its comedic nature kept getting ruined by its confusing plotline. So with that out the way, if you made it to the end of the video, I appreciate it, thank you. But if you excuse me, I have to go deal with this phantom dude roaming around in my shed. Oh, Phantom, where are you? Finish reviewing that dreadful movie you made me watch. Pranked you so hard, man. You did not see that coming.